Stefan Vincent. I'm from originally from Groningen, living in Amsterdam. I make music, mostly techno. Well, I think when I started to listen to electronic music, I can't really exactly remember, but I remember me being a little kid and just trying to look for music whenever I could find it, and watching MTV, waiting for movie clips to pop on, and going with my mother to the store and going to the CD store. I think I don't know really why I started to produce first instead of DJing, but I think it's just something that kind of happened. There's not really an exact reason why I don't DJ, but producing always seemed much more interesting to me than DJing. So yeah, not really a very clear reason, to be honest. I think Jeff Mills might be my biggest influence up to date, but it's not like my only inspiration is Detroit or Jeff Mills. I get inspired by a lot of things, and not only like music, but also things that happen in my life. And but yeah, I think Jeff Mills still is definitely the guy that I'm looking up to the most. Well, if I'm looking at the track names that I give, it's not only about science fiction and astronomical things, but it's just such an interesting subject to read about, and yeah, I don't know, it's the entire sci-fi thing, which is really interesting to me. So yeah, I don't know, I don't really have a reason for that actually. I just like to do it. I'm not specifically influenced by acid. Sometimes I just like to make it, and sometimes I like to make something else. But it's not like I specifically want to make an acid track. When I make acid, it's because it happens. I think when you're producing, I don't think if you start producing and you start making a track with the idea of it should be house or it should be techno, I don't think that's a good way to do it. I think you should really just start working on music and then see what happens. I think it's a far better way of doing it than really trying to do one specific thing. Well, when I'm producing, I just really see just what happens. First I try to, sometimes when I have a musical deadline, I know that I should be making some kind of techno track, but if I focus too much on that, then it just doesn't happen. So I don't, sometimes I have an idea, but most of the time I just start producing. If I don't have any inspiration at all, I just try to fuck around with the sample until something nice happens, and before you know, you have a really cool idea which is perfect for using in a track, you know, and then it just happens. Yeah, Amsterdam is definitely a very inspiring city to me. Well, when it comes to music, I don't really get my inspiration out of the city itself, but it's a super nice city to live in. I mean, the electronic scene is fantastic over here. A lot of great DJs, a lot of great producers, and nightlife is also great. It's very healthy. A lot of parties going on, and some really cool clubs. Like TROUW is really one of my favorite clubs, and we had a lot of amazing times. I think only a couple of weeks ago, you had Imprint Weekender with a super amazing lineup, and Sandrine, the host of it, did a fantastic job. And yeah, that's kind of it for Amsterdam. Recently my gig in Paris was absolutely fantastic. It was really brilliant. It was, I didn't really have any expectations, but some friends of mine were playing at the same party, and like a couple of weeks before. And the people were just so nice, and they were so happy that I came to Paris, and I really didn't expect that. And I think not many people knew who was on the lineup, which was really great because I think there were 1,500 people, and yeah, everybody was dancing. Nobody was looking at their phones, and everybody was just really absorbing the entire vibe, and you could really see that in on the dance floor. And I think I've never heard people scream so loud as over there, and I would really love to go back again. When people are criticizing electronic music for the lack of real instruments, I can definitely see where this is coming from, because for me it doesn't really matter actually, because there are some sound designers that only use a laptop and can make the most amazing sounds, which is for me like Monolake is doing all these things without real instruments, but is also, he's a true musician, and if you say that music lacks originality or creativity because it doesn't have real instruments, then I suggest you go have a listen to that, because this is just as good as it gets. But also, if you look at an act like Magic Mountain High, they are using like a lot of real instruments, and which is also fantastic to listen to it. It's both really different, but yeah, if people like to criticize things, then they should be doing that. You know, if I really don't care about that. I think I don't try to care too much about people criticizing other things. It's impossible for me to choose just one track out of the non-electronic styles, but I'm a huge Radiohead fan, and yeah, I don't know. I also can't pick one track of them, but I'm also a huge classical fan. I really love Ravel and Debussy and Chopin. In the deepest ocean, it's impossible to choose only one track, because if I'm really feeling good in one day and really feeling bad in one other day, it can be my favorite style can be completely different.